Welcome. Today we want to look at motion under constant acceleration. So we want to look at the equations of motion, basically equations of motion under constant acceleration. And there are some things we need to know for us to be able to achieve this goal at the end of this video. We have to know about average velocity. We have to know about average velocity. I'll call it V average. Average velocity, if you are studying the motion of a car now, and you take the velocity at a particular instant of in time, and then you take another velocity at another instance, then you take the average of it. That is what gives us what average velocity. So if in this video, there are different ways. We are going to have initial and we are going to have final. So talking about initial, initial can be represented with v naught if it is velocity v naught, or is the same thing as what u, and the final can be it can be v. Yeah, the final is going to be v. For our distance, this is going to be initial. So our initial distance, we are going to represent initial distance with x naught, right? And then, so if we use v naught or u, it means the same thing, initial velocity, and we differentiate. I mean, we represent our initial our final distance as x, okay? And then our initial time will be t1, and final time as what, t2. So these are the basic things we need to be able to work on this very so now, average velocity says that you do what, take velocity v naught plus velocity so plus the final velocity, that is initial plus the final velocity, divided by 2. This is average velocity. So that is if you know the velocity at this time, I mean at the initial point, and at the final point, you divide it, you get your average velocity. Another way you can define average velocity is that you measure the distance it has traveled. Let's say if we have a reference point here, right? Now it has traveled a distance x here, x naught here, and then it travels another distance x. Now what we are going to do is what for us to get the average velocity between these 2 points, we are going to take the displacement. What will be the displacement? The displacement will be what, it will be x naught divided by what, x naught minus, x minus x naught, and then you take what, the time difference. So now it's going to be what, x minus x naught over what, t1 t2 minus t1, right? So you have a time here, and you have what, time t2 here. So that is what we need to do. And it happens that since this is what, x naught minus x naught over t minus t2 minus t1, we can write it this. So this is what, exactly what, change in x over what, change in t, at least change in distance over change in time. That is average velocity. Now when we are taking average velocity, the time interval will have to be a little bit big, I mean large. Now it will be maybe 1 second, 2 seconds, or stuff like that. But there is something we call instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous velocity. So when do we have instantaneous velocity? We have instantaneous velocity when the time interval is very very short. When the time interval, that is maybe that is a velocity at an instant. If we have this distance, right, from x naught to x, now why not draw this x naught very very close to x, so that what, so that the time taking for it to move from x to x naught is very very small, and we know that we can only get that kind of thing this so that the time taking for it to move from x naught to x is tending to zero. You know, when it is tending to zero, that they will be we begin to talk about limit and derivative. So that means we are forced to do that. It is going to be what a derivative of what of this. Now when you differentiate delta x over when delta x here is tending to zero, what is the velocity? It's going to be what the x dt, because of what delta t here is what is tending to zero, so we limit it and then we have what dx dt. So that is what instantaneous velocity is. Instantaneous velocity is telling you velocity at an instant of in time, but average velocity we have to the time difference will be a little bit large. This one could be 1 second, 2 seconds, and so on, but this one could be 0.1, 0.001. You know, that is very short period of time. So we take what, and that is what we call instant velocity, and our instant velocity is going to be v, velocity at an instant, or velocity at a point between two close points. So that is it, and these are some of the things we need. And remember, acceleration, we also have what we call average acceleration. Average acceleration, you know, the acceleration also you take acceleration is what change in velocity with respect to time. So average acceleration is going to be what is the change in it is what change in velocity, that's v minus what v naught over what t. So that is what average velocity for you. So that is and what when you do this, what if you can make v subject of the formula, we are going to have the first equation. But one thing we have to know about average velocity is that it also has average acceleration also has what we call instantaneous acceleration. That is when the time is very short. When you hear anything instantaneous in physics, most of the time is when it happens within a very short period of time, like say 0.1 seconds, and so that is it. So now if we make a subject v subject of the formula here, so we are going to have v minus v naught equals what 80, right? Now v should be equal to what v naught plus 80, and this sometimes we see it as what v equals u plus 80. So this is the first equation of motion we have been able to derive, and this is very important. So the equations of motion, they have different ways we apply them. So we are going to look at other ones now. So let us take this very first equation. I'm going to write it at this side here. V equals u plus 80, or v naught plus 80. So now we are going to take this very one. Okay, let me use v naught because we have been using v naught since. V naught there is the initial velocity. Now let's take this one now. If you take this very equation, v equals v naught plus 80. Now if we add this very v naught to both sides and divide by 2, what do we have? Let's do that. So we are going to add v naught on this side, v plus v naught divided by 2, then v naught plus 80 plus another v naught, right? So we are going to then we divide this by 2, so that's going to be what and this, okay, let's just this v naught, and if you look at this, v naught plus v plus v naught over 2 is what average velocity. Sometimes average velocity is always written like this, so I will write it average velocity equals what equals this is what 2 v naught over 2 plus at over what over 2. So that is it. And then look at it again. This average velocity is also equal to what? Is also equal to this. So let us put this in the equation. So this is going to be what? X minus x naught over t equals what? Now 2 can cancel 2. We have what? V naught plus half. Now the difference in time, I just call it t here, over 2 at, right? Now let us go ahead and make x naught, I mean x subject of the formula. So that means we are going to cross multiply everything here, let's say over 1, then we cross multiply. This is going to be what? X minus x naught equals what? V naught times t, right? Plus half a times t, that's what? T squared. So now, making x naught subject of the formula, we have, I mean x subject of the formula, we have what? X naught plus half plus v naught t plus half a t squared. Now this is enough to tell the story of the motion of any car or of any object, given the initial velocity and the acceleration, and if I know what the initial position. So now if the initial position of the car, whether if it started from the reference point, that is x naught is going to be 0, this very formula reduced to what? X equals what? V naught plus, V naught t plus what? Half a t squared. So now, and V naught is what we also call what? U. So you can see what? Ut plus half a t squared, and that is it. So, and the other equation of motion can also be gotten from this very equation. So let's look at that one. Now, using this very equation, right, and this, we can be able to derive another important equation of motion, and which is this. Let's take this average velocity. We know average velocity is equal to this and is equal to this. So we are going to equate these two. That's going to be what? V naught plus V over what? 2 equals what? X minus x naught over t. I'm taking the difference in time to be what? T. Right? So let us multiply both sides by t. Multiply both sides by t. Right? So now t can cancel t here. So we have what? X minus x naught equals what? T into what? V naught plus V over what? 2. Now, if we eliminate this V, this T, how can we eliminate T? Remember that all these equations of motion, no matter the one you use, they should give you the same thing, because everything is under the same acceleration. So now if I take this very equation, V equals V naught, V equals V naught plus AT. Now let's make T subject of the formula here. T will be what? T should be equal to V minus V naught, right, over A. So now let us replace this very um, for t. Let's replace this for t in this very equation. So this is going to be what? X minus x naught equals what? V minus what? V naught into V naught plus what? V over what? 2. Now it happens that if we multiply this results to what we call difference of 2 square over 2. Okay, this is over a, right? This is what we can call difference of 2 squares. So what we are going to have here is what? Is v square minus v naught squared, right, over 2a. A multiplies 2 and that's 2a. So and this is equal to what? X minus what? X naught. So if we let's just multiply both sides by 2a. So multiply this by 2a and this by 2a. So we have it that what? V square minus v naught, because this cancels this, minus v naught equals what? V naught square equals what? 2a into what? X minus x naught, right? And so we have what? So if we try to make v square subject of the formula, we have the final equation of motion, which says that v square equals what? V naught squared plus 2a into what? X minus x naught. Now if the very object started from the reference point, let's say if this is the reference point, if it started from here, that means x naught is 0. So we are going to, this equation is going to reduce to what? V square equals what? V naught squared plus 2ax, and that is a very important equation of motion. So these are the basic equation of motion that we have. In the next video, we are going to be really looking at how to make use of every one of them in solving questions on equation of motion. So let us look at all this, how we have been seeing it even in our secondary school days. So this is how everything is going to be. Now the first equation, v equals v naught plus 80, we have been seeing it as what? V equals u plus 80. And the second equation, x equals x naught. Now most of the time x naught, it could be that what the object started from origin or from the reference point. So sometimes this equation is usually seen as this, where v naught is what? Is u. So we see what? X equals ut plus half 80 squared. And the last one, we see it as what? V square equals u square plus 2as, right? 2ax. Now sometimes it can happen that the acceleration may be negative. Remember, acceleration is not always in the direction of motion. It's not always in the direction of motion. Sometimes it can be in the direction of motion. That is, if it is positive. Let's say if the car is moving this direction and the acceleration is positive, that means that very acceleration is in the direction of the motion. But sometimes acceleration can be in form of what we call deceleration or retardation, that will cause the velocity to do what? To decrease. That means you have to apply a force that is going to cause the body that is moving to do what? To begin to decelerate. Let's say you are on your journey, and then you suddenly see a child or a careless person that is crossing. You have to do what? you have to apply your brakes. That is, you are applying a retarding force. So in that case, acceleration can be what? Negative. So in all these cases, you can have what? Negative acceleration. Negative acceleration. So that is it. And that is it for how we can derive the equations of motion. And these are the basic equations of motion that we need for kinematics, at least linear motion. So, and under constant acceleration, that's where all these things work. That's it for the video. Thank you for watching. God bless you.